and welcome back to A Toda Madre. It's your boy Rasslin and William. Welcome back.
What's up?
You just saw John Cena cook Cody Rhodes, or did he not cook Cody Rhodes? We have some new official matches. We're definitely gonna get a triple threat with the Rhea Ripley thing. We're definitely gonna get it. We knew, and then of course all the other matches that happened. So I was shocked about something. The new the guys who faced off the New Day, their return. I was shocked that they lost because it was in England or the UK. Pete Dunne's from over there, the other fools from over there. But the only thing was that it was kind of dumb for them to return as a tag team because Pete Dunne's technically a heel and the other fool's a face. So I'm like, are we rooting for them? Are we booing them? What the fuck is going on? The New Day are bad guys. So what? And I was just shocked that they lost though. I am happy that we have a new tag team division, new tag team into the division of Raw.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep them as a team, because I'm hoping they do. Maybe it was just a one-time thing because it was out there, and they just want to obviously give the fans a little something special. But hopefully they stay as a team because obviously as individuals they really don't get much of a run, much of attention. But we'll see. We'll see how they play it out.
And instead of giving Viking War Raiders, Viking War, whatever their name is, instead of then giving them a little promo time, instead of just staring at each other, showing off the belts, give them a little bit of airtime with the mics instead of just staring off into the people. Maybe they did because we saw them walk into the ring, but we went to a commercial break. But my idea was instead of them just doing it oh, you guys want it, come get it, or some shit like that. Just give them something for us to fucking talk about. Give them a little bit of voice in there. Just don't show them on the background with the belts. They're supposed to be faces and we're supposed to be rooting for them. Give us a reason why to root for them, not just because they're the good guys. Not just because we hate fucking Cody and Xavier Woods.
I don't know. It's hard to, like you said, it's hard to root for someone when really they're not there. Unless if you are a big popular name, which War Raiders really aren't. Obviously Roman Reigns wasn't always there, but whenever he was there, it was a big pop. War Raiders are not Roman Reigns,
Yes.
But so it's kind of hard on them, on for us to be on their side rooting for them. Is when they're not defending, when they're not even in any sort of action ever.
Yes.
So
it's not like the tag team divisions where you can kind of choose, even if the belts are jumping from one team to the other, they're still involved in everything. Where you're like, okay, does that mean that anyone can get it now? They're all getting time to talk. They're all getting time to wrestle. So it's very, very different dynamic to what we're getting in Raw. While in Raw, only basically the New Day are getting talk time, promo time. The Alpha Academy is kind of getting promo talk, but that's about it. Am I missing someone? The LWO, but it's only Ray who's talking, not the other guys.
Right. Yeah. For the most part, I think that's really it.
The Judgment.
The biggest heel faction would be the Judgment Day, but besides that, New Day, I believe, has more clout of heel right now than Judgment Day does. Judgment Day, if anything, are running more solos than what they are doing tags.
Not only that, remove Finn Balor, and basically that stable doesn't have really good wrestlers. Yes, Dominic can hold it down, but he's not a really great wrestler. He's good in the mic, but he's not a great wrestler.
Right.
While Kofi and Xavier work very good as a duo, and they can both hold it down in the ring.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, the only other one that's missing is obviously JD, and God knows when he's coming back. So, but like you said, take out with Finn. Carlito doesn't really wrestle. When he does, only 5 minutes of a match. He doesn't really. If anything, he's just there to get speared by Braun Breaker. That's really what they're using him for,
Even Braun Breaker was going through that, where he was only getting 2-minute promos in the backstage and just looking at random people. He wasn't wrestling, so I'm like, how are we supposed to get behind Braun Breaker, even as a heel or as a good guy, if you're not giving them anything else to work with? Like Penta got, I'm not sure if it's luck or Triple H. that they pushed them hard. They gave them screen time. They gave them promo talk. They gave them everything so that we actually had a chance to see what's going on, see how we can actually talk about them. But I don't know. It was just that, and I'm like, it kind of, it's a buzz killer for me. You know, it's a bum. I do get bummed about that shit. I'm not gonna lie. Not for Penta. I'm just talking about for everyone else.
Right.
Because I'm like, you use so much screen time on little things where I'm like, just if you can give us 2 more extra minutes of them to talk, it's all that matters. I'm like, we already know who New Day is. They're already established. I'm like,
Right.
if you can remove 2 minutes from them and give it to the War Raiders, Viking Raiders, or whatever they're called, I'm like, boom, blam, owned. You know, like that's what I mean. Um, I don't know if we're gonna get a WrestleMania with them. Maybe the Friday or no, or the Monday before WrestleMania. Like I said, I don't know if Triple H is going for 10 matches at Mania, 7 matches, or 5 matches. Because I know that Triple H is all about 20-minute matches. He's not about those 5-minute matches. And I'm okay with 20-minute matches, depending on who's wrestling. And it is WrestleMania, so are we gonna go for 3 hours or are we going for 4 hours?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess it's just gonna depend on how he wants to play it out and how he wants to draw it out. Obviously, as of right now, we still have a speculation with the Intercontinental. What exactly is gonna happen with it? Who exactly is he gonna face? Is it really gonna be a Fatal 4, or does he just throw a random curveball and you have, I don't know, a random pairing of Lucha Bros versus Judgment Day, because he could do that, So really, we don't really know much about that until, I'm assuming it's gonna be the last Monday before Mania, where it becomes official with something. Because obviously, on this past Monday, we just saw Finn saying, "I'm gonna go talk to Adam Pearce about a championship match because I pinned him." And then Liv was like, "Yeah, but there's also Dom, who was also part of that match." And then Liv said, "I'm gonna go talk to Adam Pearce after Finn to get you a match." So really, that's already 2 matches for Braun or a triple threat. And I'm pretty sure at that point, Penta's gonna be like, "Well, you guys cost me my match, so get me involved in that match." And you got a Fatal 4. Now again, is that gonna be a WrestleMania match? I don't know. If it's gonna be a Monday night before Mania, maybe. I don't know.
If it's a Fatal 4 or even a triple threat, but if it, most likely it's looking like it's going to a Fatal 4. If it's a Fatal 4, go for it. That's a WrestleMania match. You got Penta, Braun Breaker, Finn, and Dominic. Probably a future miss. That's what I'm gonna call Dominic. A future miss where he's great in the mic, sucky in the ring. I don't think Dominic is gonna get better in the ring because he's so lethargic. Se mira bien huevón when he wrestles. Cuando está luchando, no se mueve fast como un lightweight.
Right.
But he doesn't have the muscles like a muscular guy. So what are you? You're a mic guy, and that's fucking Miz. I always hated Miz in the ring, but now that I'm older, I do enjoy his promos a lot more. Till today, until I die, I will never enjoy the Miz in the ring. I don't want him in my ring. And Dominic at least does a little bit of extra high flying stuff. He can sell well, but he's not a Dolph Ziggler seller. He's not a freaking Rey Mysterio high flyer or even Dragon Lee, but he's definitely in the level of a Miz when it comes to cutting a promo, at least to get heat.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Unless if Dom can change his moveset where it's not, hey, you're not a luchador, like, admit it, you're not. Like, yes, you could go ahead and drop a frog splash, why not? But you don't have to stick to that, stigma of, hey, I'm a luchador, because you're really not. You don't have a build of one.
You might be a Latino, but you're more like an Alberto del Rio Latino.
Right.
Like right. I would say go to that direction or go to Seth Rollins. Like I don't like Seth Rollins as his character, but his wrestling thing, he's pretty decent. I would say go that direction. Go to like an old Jericho, not a new Jericho. Perdón. Go to towards an old, as in like old guy Jericho.
Right.
Like I would call it the new Jericho, right? The new Jericho, as opposed to prime Jericho or the old version of Jericho, who was like estilo luchador. I would say go into those directions. You don't necessarily have to be a luchador because you're not that. So yes, for me, a Fatal 4 for the Intercontinental is the WrestleMania match. I would hate it if it main events the Monday before WrestleMania. I would actually hate that because you're gonna take away 4 guys that deserve to be at WrestleMania.
Right.
And I do hate the fact that the U.S. title is looking like it's going to do a Fatal 4 as well, which I hate that because one of them has to switch it up a little bit, make one a ladder match.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna plan it out. I don't know what plans they have in mind. I'm sure they're not gonna be normal Fatal 4 matches. I'm sure they're gonna add a stipulation to either or. I'm sure to the Intercontinental they will. Maybe to both. Because I was thinking on the Intercontinental side, you have Penta trying to get back at the Judgment Day. So how do you do that? By throwing stuff in there. But at the same time, I know that on the other side, you have Fatu Solo, who really gonna go at it, and they use more objects than Penta does, than Braun Breaker does.
I would say this: make the U.S. title a Fatal 6. Put Solo, Jacob, put Braun Strowman, put LA Knight, bring in Shinsuke Nakamura, and fuck it, throw in Jimmy. Throw in Jimmy in there. Because Jimmy doesn't really have no one to feud with right now. He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss.
I believe he's gonna miss Mania. And it looks like he's gonna miss Mania. After the incident that happened, obviously, I don't know how long that's gonna cause him to be out for.
Technically, he should be fit for WrestleMania because that would be 2 weeks in a way. So if they want to keep it hidden, like say, oh, Jimmy's gone, blah blah, and there's gonna be, it's gonna be a Fatal 5, and then at WrestleMania, do it like when they brought up the Hardys, where the manager comes in and he's like, it's gonna be a 6-man ladder match or a 6-man fight, and here it is, and then it's Jimmy. He gets a loud pop, and maybe we can give him the fucking US title.
Yeah, I mean, it could work, because again, you're right. Now, I think it'll be more of a Fatal 5 than a 6 because Shinsuke, I believe, is on his way out of the company.
You can still put him in WrestleMania.
Huh?
You can still put him in a WrestleMania moment.
I know you can, but that's one point. I'm pretty sure if anything, they would go 5 ways, especially if you're going to give the title to Jimmy. Because I mean, you might go the route of Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, or it's like we both won championship, hug it out in the ring. How do you replicate that moment? Jey Uso beating Gunther, and then Jimmy Uso becoming U.S. champion to replicate that same moment. Where they both became singles individuals and they both became champions at the same Mania.
And I think in a way, a Fatal 6, even people are gonna be like, oh, they're just throwing matches to throw superstars. In a way, it makes sense because I'm like, even if I had the idea on the Fatal 4 to this potential for me, Fatal 6, I'm like, that's how you start the Jimmy and Jacob feud. That's how you start the Finn Dominic feud, by them costing the match themselves. Let's say Jacob's about to pin him. He's about to win. 1, 2, and it's fucking Solo who removes him. And that's how you start that feud for Backlash or for the future. And over here, let's say it's a ladder match. Finn's about to get the title, and Dominic pushes him off. And that's how you start the fucking feud for Backlash. Because we know that Finn's going to be out of Judgment Day. We know this.
Yeah, it's starting to look, the way they're starting to put the storyline into play, it looks like it.
Yes.
And I'm sure, like I've told you before, with the teases of the Demon and backstage or whatever, I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken, Demon's always been a face. Demon Balor. So if you're pushing him out and you want to bring that character back, now you can, because at that point, the Judgment Day did you dirty, so they pushed you out. So now you're face, and Judgment Day stays heel. So at that point, you become the Demon, and you're obviously face Demon.
Yes. So there's a lot of like the potentials that there are just I trust Triple H on the right process. I just don't want to see 2 Fatal 4s. It's gonna be fucking redundant. You're just basically repeating. Right, you're basically repeating it. The signage of the triple threat on SmackDown. For me, it was stupid that Seth Rollins was complaining, because I'm like, bro, didn't you read the contract yourself? You had to sign it first. You knew that you were gonna main event, and then you're getting pissed at CM Punk. I'm like, I don't remember the segment good because it was on Friday. I got drunk on the weekend. But if I'm correct, didn't Seth Rollins sign it first before CM Punk?
I believe the last one to sign was CM Punk, yeah.
Yes, now, right?
Now, did he read it? Obviously not. He just, did Roman Reigns read it? Obviously not. He just, for the most part, they never read them. They just sign them.
Yes, you can kind of say that Roman knew. We can go
Yeah.
with the speculation of Roman knew. That's why it was. We got you your moment, whatever. Pero Seth Rollins, if he didn't read it, I was like, for me, it didn't make sense. I'm like, bro, did he read the contract like CM Punk? Like, did you not know that you're gonna main event
Right.
and then talk shit after he finds out? Like, okay,
Right.
but again, if CM Punk's curveball is to the favor is to be at the main event on Sunday with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, I don't know how much power Paul Heyman has to do that. Like, what kind
I
of
mean,
power does Paul Heyman have for him to make it a triple threat?
the only power I see is he's friends with The Rock or whatever. He's like close to The Rock and whatnot. That's the only logical explanation I have behind it. Now, even if you have that power and you're friends with The Rock and you could do it, it's like why and the story sense, why would The Rock want that knowing his champion is wrestling for him, in this case John Cena? Like, I'm not gonna put anybody else in there with him, with Cena, knowing it's gonna cost my champion, this. So I don't think that's a favor either. I honestly think the favor will be Punk obviously main events and he wins it, but I think the favor will be for Paul Heyman to backstab Roman Reigns and join Punk again to become, Punk's, mentor. Because I'm not sure if you did notice this or not. Now, I don't know what it has to do with anything, but when Roman was telling CM Punk, acknowledge me, Paul Heyman was like shaking his head, like, don't acknowledge him. And obviously CM Punk goes and acknowledges him and says, the big dog.
I saw it as like, ay, este pinche güey la tuvo que cagar. That's how I saw it. I didn't see it as like, don't do it. I saw it more like, don't, like, why you fucking ruining this? Now you pissed him off because he knows CM Punk. So this is the thing, though. I don't want to see a heel CM Punk yet, but if you're going that direction, that means that he becomes heel CM Punk. 2, Roman has said the day that Paul Heyman stops being his wise man is the day that he stops wrestling. So I don't think Roman, because Roman right now is a tweener. He's technically a heel, but he's also a face. He does heel shit, but he's also a face. So he's a tweener. He's in between. I've seen a lot of people that are saying that Paul Heyman might join Seth Rollins so that Seth can go full on heel, which it's a curveball. It's a curveball. The only thing I can say personally that I'm like, I can fuck with this is this. That the favor can be technically Roman Reigns is still owed a rematch. Remember, Cody was gonna give him a rematch, and
for part 3 or whatever,
yes, and people got pissed. Not even for a part. I think it was for like SummerSlam, and that's when the fucking bloodline started to boil up. He's like, Kevin Owens became heel and all that shit. How are you gonna give him that?
Right.
So basically, the favor would be, basically, I'm removing Roman's rematch and giving it to Punk. And that's how he enters the triple threat. If it is a triple threat, because CM Punk at the end of the promo said, that's not the favor I'm asking for.
Right.
So it's interesting where they're going. I thought it was. I always knew it's going to be more of the championship more than the main event. But we'll see. We still have 2 more weeks. So we're probably going to find out on the second week, the final Friday before WrestleMania. I do love the fact that because Cena's on Raw, they move fucking Punk to SmackDown so that we can get that balance of viewerships and all that. That's pretty cool. I like that. It was a good idea. As far as the Cena and all them on Raw, do you think Cena's going to come out again for the next 2 weeks, or that's it?
I have to look at the schedule, but if he wasn't scheduled, he's not coming out. I think that's it.
That's it?
I believe, and I actually saw a post earlier today that said the only reason why WWE did this whole European tour right before Mania was to be able to fit Cena into the schedule because Cena's doing a movie out in Europe. So I was like, I mean, it makes sense. Maybe that is the case, because when has WWE actually ever done a Euro trip leading into a Mania?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't remember seeing. I know that they do Euro trips. They do the Mexico tour and shit, but usually it's at the same time as California, New York, and all that. So it's always there. So when I saw that, I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense." I'm like, "Why close to Mania?" I'm like, "When all your viewership is over here." It makes sense now that you say it because I'm like, "Oh, it does." If if it is Cena's last Raw before WrestleMania, did he win the battle?
I feel like he did. I mean, I don't like. I was watching it obviously live, and immediately some pointers that he brought out did cook him. I know that you sent me a video that explained how Cody cooked Cena with just boy jokes and like kid jokes, and I'm like, shit, they're right. If you actually think about Cody's promo against Cena, like there was nothing memorable about it. The only two,
it doesn't hold.
Yeah, like the only two things that he brought that people can remember is the dick joke and the
You
shit
can't
joke.
wrestle.
I think, right? Then you can't wrestle.
And who's the guy who invented the "you can wrestle"? Daniel Bryan, 2007.
Right.
When he had his SummerSlam match.
Right. So, and that's the thing. I'm just like, so besides that, I'm like, I can't remember anything else. I remember Cena's, how deep he went into it, how, like obviously the main one, like I make money for the millionaires, like you just steal their money. And that was a shot, obviously, at him going to AEW to take Nick Khan's money, or Tony, I'm not sure which one it is. So it's like, shit, I mean, he's right. You did leave the company. He's like, you left the company because you couldn't make it here. And then you came back, so I'm like, yep, also true. So.
That's what when he was saying, like, oh, you stole you stole everything from us. You stole this, you stole that. I'm like, he always said, I built empires for billionaires and you steal them from their kids. That shit's going to hold for years until AEW goes under.
Right.
Because that's literally a shot at AEW.
Yeah, no, I mean, completely. It's. I mean, again, a lot of people are giving CM Punk hate because the grass isn't greener on the other side. When he was at AEW talking about WWE, he comes back and now he's main eventing, and people giving him so much shit about that. I'm like, but didn't Cody go smash a throne at AEW and nobody's giving him shit about this?
Yep.
So it's like people tend to pick and choose.
Like, if you want to be asshole about it, I'm like, you guys defended Cody for doing all that shit. I'm like, that's the same shit as talking shit to WWE. That's talking shit to Triple H when he's doing that. I'm like, and he comes back and you guys put him in the mountain. And then you guys cried because The Rock was going to remove him from the main event for him to main event with Roman, which would have been bigger. I'm like, and you guys cried about it. But no one defended CM Punk when he was busting his ass year after year after year. I think it was like 2 years or going into the third year. I'm like, and The Rock stole his moment. Right. No one did that. No one defended him, and everybody was okay. Why? Because I was kind of okay. I was a CM Punk guy, but I'm a Rock guy.
Right.
I'm like, I've never liked Cody. I don't like his promos. They come so boring to me. I will always say it time and time again. He's a fucking heel. He's a heel.
I mean, even at AEW, when I believe he ran a heel run at AEW because he was like, "That's what the fans want. I'm gonna give the fans what they want."
No. The fans wanted him to turn heel, and that's why he didn't want to do it. That's why he let go of the belt. And then he made a match that which is stupid because he's like, as long as I work for AEW, I can't win the belt. So basically, no le dio importancia, no le dio importance to the belt. So basically, that's talking shit to the belt. Because now, what's the first thing that he comes over here to WWE? Oh, the biggest thing that I always wanted to do was win the WWE belt for my dad.
Right. Right, and if you come think about it, I know I shared this post with you the other day. Like, I don't know, back when Tina turned, the original plan was for Cody Rhodes' turn, and Cody Rhodes was like, "No, I'm not turning." The day of, he was like, "I'm not gonna turn." And like, so I'm like, in a way, that's kind of selfish, egoistic. Which again, bro, like you're not. I mean, just like you, in my opinion, I'm like, you're not that great. Like you're a mid carder. I'm sorry, but you're a mid carder at most. Or just go back to your gold dust gimmick, because you could be, Stardust. Go ahead. Why not?
When originally, what's it called? I remember CM Punk didn't want to turn heel, but he was injured. Oh, I forgot cómo estuvo la story, but he didn't want to turn heel, and at the end he did it. So he did it for the company because that's what Vince wanted.
Right. That's what. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when they did, they first took away his first WrestleMania moment, which was The Rock and John Cena main evented. And then when they did the rematch the following year, he was a champion. I believe he was a heel, and they told him, "You're gonna lose the belt to The Rock," and he's like, "How come we just can't triple threat?" And Vince McMahon said no, so he had to let go of his belt because
Right.
Vince McMahon said no. So in a way, like when you hear Cody say all that stuff, I'm like, "You're not playing ball game." Like, does that mean that when they told him, "Hey, it makes sense for Kevin Owens to win a match," that you say no to that? Because it makes you start
Right.
thinking
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
I'm like, because honestly, I'm like, sure, AJ didn't deserve the belt. He doesn't need it. AJ Styles when he did his feud with Cody. I'm like, but Kevin Owens, technically, that run that he was doing, it would have
Yeah.
looked good with the belt on. It would have looked good.
It would have. I mean, they gave him the fucking winged eagle as a consolation prize in a way. Because
Basically,
maybe it was a hey, you are technically supposed to be champion, but this little B doesn't want to give up the championship. So let's go ahead and give you this one, and you run it as a champion, as your champion run. You know, because technically that you're right. Maybe Cody did say like, nah, I'm not gonna drop it to anyone at this point.
now I'm gonna show you a little secret when it comes to heels and faces when they are on their attire. Majority of the time, when the heel is with a mouthpiece and he's all about Hollywood or not Hollywood, but looking amazing, they always dress to impress as a heel. Triple H with Evolution, right? The Miz, Shawn Michaels. What's it called? No tanto Undertaker, but you would see him more with a leather coat on when he would do promos.
Right.
The Rock with his Gucci clothes. Technically, in a way, Kurt Angle sometimes. And then when you see them as faces, Triple H wears a jean jacket. Undertaker doesn't come out with the vest. The Miz is tanchonis. What's it called? The Rock is in sweats. Kurt Angle in sweats. Stone Cold is the only one who was, when he was a heel and he was a face,
Right.
he was the same shit.
Yeah.
So when I tell you all this, look at Cody Rhodes, what he's wearing. Dressed to impress.
Dressed to impress.
John Cena technically is the other one who kind of got away with it. But John Cena, when he started, originally he was kind of babyface. It was just Speedos. And then he turned into the rapper gimmick. But once he turned face, le dieron nomás the same jeans, but then they just put a t-shirt instead of jerseys.
Right.
And he stayed like that. Final boss. Before he turned into the final boss, The Rock was coming out with this, just bring it, así one more time, todo, the sweats. As soon as he became the final boss, the Gucci vest, the cow vest, like the Gucci glasses and all that shit. So I'm like, oh, he was bringing the fashion back as a heel. So he understands what he's doing. But that's one thing I've noticed over time of watching wrestling. When you notice that someone's a heel is the way that they dress. So to me, when you see a Cody Rhodes, the way that he talks, the way that he does it, bro, you're a fucking heel.
Yeah.
You're a heel. American Nightmare instead of American Dream. Because I know your dad's the American Dream, but it's okay. You could have been the American Baby Dream or Baby Dream. You ain't have to go Nightmare. Nightmare is literally a fucking...
The opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Do you think John Cena held back?
I think he had more to give. I think had he let him had WWE let him cook from the beginning, the past 2 weeks, it would have been completely buried. Like you mentioned, I bury mediocrity.
Oh yeah.
So
and then like on the back fucking Wade Barrett.
So and obviously now everybody's saying, and I agree, everybody's saying, well, I don't really agree. I don't know. I have my opinions. But everybody's saying Cody is winning hands down. He's not dropping it at Mania. Now that Cody did his crossroads, is like he's standing above him. Does that mean Cena's gonna win? So especially if Cena doesn't appear the next two Raws and doesn't make any more appearances.
Yes.
So it's like, is he?
And I was thinking when I was looking at how slow that crossroad was, the way that he had him, I was like, if he spins him, I'm like, do they have momentum for him to pick him up into an FU? I'm like, he's old. He is looking old. I'm like, I don't know how his next run of pay-per-views are going to look, but he's looking very old. And I'm like, And I'm like, and it all depends on his movie schedule. I'm like, if he's a champion, is he only going to come out on pay per view? Is he not going to promote matches at all? So I'm like, my idea of him being a heel champion, I want to, but at the same time, I'm like, how's your schedule going to look? I don't want another Roman run, because that's why I don't want Roman to become a champion anymore.
Right. Well, no, because I mean, the thing with Roman now is if he does get another Roman run, it's not a heel Roman now. It's a face Roman that we're getting.
Do you think a face should be wrestled once every other month?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you're right. Like it shouldn't, So obviously, the only other logical option, is you go with the current people in your building. You have CM Punk, you have Kevin Owens as a heel, you have Randy Orton, who both CM Punk, a face CM Punk versus a heel Cena, a face Randy Orton versus a heel Cena, something we've never seen, ever.
Let me touch on this one, because I know that we're talking about Friday SmackDown and Raw tonight. I was saving for two things, and I'm gonna end it with the best one, because I do believe it's safe now. It is safe, but I want to touch on the Randy Orton, because you brought him up. I would rather want to see Randy Orton versus John Cena for the belt in Backlash than Cody versus Orton. I know that I wanted Cody versus Orton. I was pushing for it until John Cena became a bad guy, until he became a heel. But now I want Orton versus John Cena at Backlash more than Cody versus Orton.
I mean, I want to see Orton versus Cody regardless, but right now, I'd rather see Orton versus Cena. Right now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that can definitely be the first match of his run. And let's say if he wins in a cheating way, John Cena, that can definitely be the guy who he loses his belt to give him Randy a 16 later on. So let's say Orton, he faces Orton, he faces AJ Styles, he faces CM Punk, he runs the circle with Cody, and then he finally does the Orton again. Because I don't see other potential guys. Because I think what they're doing is they're gonna give him that run of his past people, which is AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, maybe Roman, CM Punk, for sure Randy Orton. And I don't know if there's a potential 6 of Seth Rollins, maybe. I don't know. Brock Lesnar, I don't think he's coming back. The Rock for sure. So finally to cap off
yeah.
I do see The Rock, because the way that it's looking, I do see The Rock as his final guy. So if it is him as his final guy, Randy Orton should definitely be the first one.
Basically, to take the title away if he wins the title.
If Cena wins the title, he's not going to take it away. I would say it would be the one before The Rock. So let's say if it's final match is December, he should lose it in November. The Rock
so that fight is basically the retirement match with no belt at the line.
Yes. Yeah. And he's a good guy now, because The Rock was slapping.
For losing.
Okay, now, would you rather see that or Cody versus Orton on Backlash next month?
No, I mean, Cody versus Orton is gonna happen, just not anytime soon. If anything, it might be a face Cody versus a heel Orton. That with the heel Orton champion. Which I would rather see it the other way around. But if Orton becomes champion at some point before the Cody match, it's gonna be him as a heel. It has to.
Okay. And the final thing that I wanted to say because I believe it deserves this spot. Because for me, it finally happened. They finally brought me in. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Gunther saved the fuck out of this match. But you gotta give a lot of props to Jimmy.
I mean, yes, you're right. It is what it is, But again, is this basically a picture of Mania? Exactly how it's gonna play out. Gunther's gonna carry the entire match.
Until he fucking fucks it up at the end and Jay wins.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yes, because everybody knows that's how it's gonna play out.
Because think about it. I know that people are saying, usually WrestleMania always wins, always has the good guy winning. The only way I see the good guy winning is if Cena loses, because Cody Cena are going to main event Sunday. So that means that Cody wins. That means that Gunther wins on Saturday. But if Jey Uso wins, will WrestleMania close out with a villain, with a face? Which they have done it in the past with fucking Roman Reigns. So it's okay. WrestleMania is not about the good guy anymore because there's
Right.
2 nights. The good guy could have been on Saturday. Y cómo se llama? So I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I think Jey Uso's gonna win so that Cena can win.
Yeah. I mean, especially the way they're playing out this whole underdog story of nobody could beat Gunther. That sounds familiar. What was it, Sami Zayn? So.
And I'm gonna put it this way: when was the last time the 2 faces won in WrestleMania that you can recall?
Well, I mean, it's been a minute, especially since Roman's been in the past 4 or 5 Manias,
Yeah, so especially now that it's 2 nights, when was the last time that the 2 champions, and I know that Roman had like 2 belts for it, but the 2 champions that I remember, bien, it would have to be fucking was Drew a face against Seth Rollins?
Shit, I don't remember. That shit's been a minute.
Well, okay, let's say he was a tweener then. But then who won it? Judas. I keep calling him Judas because of the fucking Raw group. Damian Priest. Right? So that makes it
that year.
Yes, that year.
Oh, that year. That was what, 2 years ago? No, Drew was heel.
Okay.
And then I mean, fucking Seth is whatever he is, But yeah, Drew was heel, and that's why everybody was cheering when Damian Priest beat him like 10 seconds later.
Then I would say this: the last time that I recall very, very well, you brought it up yourself. It was Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. Even though it was in 2 nights, Eddie beat Kurt Angle, and then this will be a heel Triple H and a face Shawn Michaels.
Right.
And there was 2 faces winning that WWE deleted from history because that WrestleMania never happened. Even though Brock Lesnar and Goldberg bring it up because it happened the same fucking night, but they can bring it up, but these fools can't bring it up just because this motherfucker did something really, really fucking dumb. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, can we finish Saturday with a new champion and then stay with the same champion and have 2 faces as champions?
Right.
I don't know if the WWE likes that all the time. That's why majority of the time you'll see one bad guy and one good guy and then flip flop it. It's hard. It's hard to see two faces win. All I'm saying is if Gunther wins, Cody ain't winning. I mean, Cody's winning.
Right.
But if Jey wins, expect Cena to win.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we still have a few more weeks before it gets to that point. But we know Jey Uso gets injured next week, and we don't have to deal with this dilemma.
No, he'll come back in just a squash match.
We'll have a Drew versus Roman, Drew versus Seth, part 2.
Yeah, I think that's the reason. I think it was because he was injured. But he decided to.
Really, deteriorated.
And that's why I think they pushed him into the tag team because he was injured, so that kind of saves him a little bit. You still have Seth Rollins in his moment, and then you get a squash match over here, which is to me it worked out good because I was like, all right, the tag team was great, and then these fools was a pretty good squash.
Yeah.
Pero como se llama at the moment, we're gonna have one more Friday. We're probably gonna have another CM Punk promo with Roman and Seth. I am really liking that feud. I'm really digging it. The AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm sorry, but Logan does not. He can't work that like that. I'm really hoping he gets better by next year. But how can you be an influencer and not know how to be on the mic?
Because that's 2 different things, bro.
He did movies.
I mean, movies.
He did a Baywatch.
Did he?
Yeah, but he was just like a throwaway character.
I don't remember him in Baywatch, but all right.
Baywatch with The Rock.
No, obviously he wasn't even fucking born with the Baywatch, probably.
Well, I mean, think about it. I want to think. You're saying that it's not the same thing. Who was a Snoop Dogg that's better on the mic?
Snoop Dogg is not a YouTuber. Snoop Dogg actually roasts people for a living. He actually has to make actual beef songs, or whatever the fuck you call them.
Right. Bad Bunny.
Did he even do mic work?
I thought he did.
No, I mean, not that I remember, though. When it came down to Priest versus him, I don't remember him ever grabbing the mic. Okay. I remember Priest carrying the promos, but I don't ever remember Bad Bunny ever talking.
Well, I know that Bad Bunny didn't really promote their fight. We knew he was going to be at, what was it? I think it was
because it was in Puerto Rico, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't think he really talked it
had to
out.
do it. Yeah, he didn't. That's my point. So I'm like, from what I remember, I believe it was just Priest just carrying the entire promos into Backlash. I don't remember Bad Bunny ever appearing in any of the Raws or Smackdowns or whatever.
Yes, and I forgot. The match Rhea Ripley versus Io. It was still fine. It was still fine. I liked Belair. I liked her. I'm in. I'm all in for the triple threat. I do. I am looking at Io as a winner of that triple threat. I am looking at. I'm still saving my thing. I gotta. We had 2 more weeks, but I think I'm convinced. Convinced that it's gonna be her. Almost close. Almost close. Last question I had for you before we close this out. Ray Phoenix, does he debut any of these 2 weeks? Because they already showed his whole promo, everything.
They already announced his debut is going to be on Friday.
On Friday. Then who is he going to wrestle to make an impact? Is it going to be Legado del Fantasma?
I mean, it might be because obviously with the Kingdom Penta, he wrestled Pete Dunne. No. Pete Dunne, right? Yeah. He wrestled Pete Dunne.
He wrestled Chad Gable.
Was it in his debut?
Yes. It was Chad Gable, Pete Dunne, Ludwig. Pete Dunne, Ludwig.
Yeah.
Now he's on the bigger picture. Oh, I forgot about the triple threat, right? And now, another thing. That was a fucking shocker that he took the pin.
Yeah. I mean, he did get speared by Braun Baker, but, you know.
See, but I was just shocked. I'm like, wow. I'm like, they took the pin. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
wait, hold on.
They're break.
Is it Monday when they're going to be in Massachusetts?
I thought they were going to be
Friday.
I thought they were going to be like in Mississippi. Something with an M. Missouri, Mississippi.
Because I know Gable was trying to be like, I need to be there. He's like, but you're injured.
Yes, because he's injured. Yes.
Or
but
sick, whatever.
That's on Monday. So technically,
so it is Monday, right? Never mind. I was gonna say it might be the Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix.
If you wanna make Ray Phoenix shine, you have to put him with the luchador. So I'm guessing Escobar or fucking Carmelo.
I mean, the thing is, they haven't announced anything about it. They just said he's gonna debut. They didn't say anything against especially mystery, whatever, you know. Like with Penta, they were obviously advertising the tag team match, mystery partner, which everybody knew who it was going to be, and then they eventually canceled that, and then they did, you know. But in this case, they haven't even said mystery partner, or haven't even said mystery opponent, nothing.
So I think he's gonna be. It's probably gonna be Carmelo. Bring him out. Bring him. I don't know. Probably him because I don't know who else would do a big show spectacular that doesn't squash anyone going into WrestleMania other than the guys that don't have a match, which is at the moment Shinsuke, este pinche Carmelo, and the Legado del Fantasma.
Shit, maybe even Andrade.
And that could be another guy for the Fatal 4 on Intercontinental for the U.S. title. I don't know about that shit. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we still have 2 more weeks, and we're gonna get more matches announced, and we're gonna probably see if we're gonna get like 7 and 7 matches on each night, or what are we gonna get. But so far, I'm digging it. I'm really digging it, William.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and people, listeners, if you guys like baseball, if you like Angels baseball, I'll wait this way. Follow his channel on TikTok, Halo Talks.
Yeah. Halo Talks. Mm-hmm.
Halo Talks. He watches every game. He's gonna discuss every game. Win, lose, or draw. There's no such thing as draw in baseball. Win or loss or disqualification if they bring out the ladder match. People, follow the channel, Halo Talks. William, any final words on wrestling or your channel?
Nothing at all.
All right. And 4-win streak, right?
Nah, we lost it today, but yeah.
You guys have a good night, and a good morning, and a good afternoon.